So I started this story and now I have to edit it because it's changed. Because my stateroom attendant disappeared. So what do I mean by that? Well, on day 5 of our sailing, our stateroom attendant, which I say good morning to every morning and I talk to a few minutes and say hi, all of a sudden wasn't here. And I discovered kind of this because I was an idiot. I had just changed, just showered, getting ready for dinner, and I walked out of my stateroom and I forgot my pass. I did a rookie mistake and forgot my pass in my stateroom to get back into my room. So I started looking for a stateroom attendant, and I saw a guy coming down the hallway, and he wasn't my stateroom attendant, but I asked to talk. I said, hey, do you know if, Ashelle is around? And he said, oh, she's down in medical right now, but I'll see if I can get somebody else for you. And I said, oh, okay, don't worry about it. I'll go to dinner, and because I know they do my room up around the time I'm gone to dinner just before the show. So I said, don't worry about it. I'll go down and I'll have my dinner and I'll come back and find somebody then, or I'll go down to the front desk and get another card. Not a big deal. I'm on vacation. Big deal. It's not a life-changing thing that I'm not going to get into my room ever again. So we went to dinner, and then when I sent Alicia down to hold our seats and with our friend Monica, and I went back to my stateroom, and there was another gentleman in there cleaning my stateroom who was not my attendant. And so I said, oh, hi, and I got my pass out of my room and everything, and I left. Then the next day, she wasn't back. So I thought maybe when they said she's down in medical, she was having her COVID test, because they test their crew members on 10-day cruises. They tested in the middle, which would have been right around that time. So I just thought she was down for a COVID test, and then when I didn't see her the next day, neither, the other guy was back. Right away in my head, I'm thinking, was she just isolated for COVID? And so I started the video and saved it. And I was going to report on this later, and lo and behold, Ashelle came back. So she came back 2 days later, and I saw her down the hallway, and I walked up and said, hi, how are you? How are you feeling and everything? And she was really kind of taken aback at how concerned I seemed. And I said, oh, I just want to make sure you're okay. You weren't here, and I heard you were in medical. I just want to make sure you're okay. Oh, yes, I just had some pains in my arms and my hands for some reason, not sure why. They just wanted to keep me for home observation, give me a day's rest and all that. I said, oh, so I just wanted to make sure she was really okay and all that. And so she didn't have COVID, and it was a completely other thing. And she seems perfectly fine. I've met her a couple days now, and she's back at work and smiling again and having a good time. So she's herself again. So I was really glad to see that. But it's funny how the first thing that came through my mind was COVID. Now, was I worried I was going to catch COVID because my stateroom attendant might have had COVID? No, not worried at all. I just had COVID, so it's pretty hard for me to catch it this quickly again. I have some built-up immunity, plus I have triple dose of the vaccine, etc. So it'd be pretty hard for me to catch it again right now. But it's funny how that went to my mind right away. Okay, but the good news is she's feeling fine. And in fact, the first thought that actually came through my mind once I saw that she wasn't here the next day, and I thought maybe she has COVID and has to isolate, was, how am I going to get her tip that I leave at the end of the cruise? Like, I've made a connection with her in the days that I've been here. And if a person gets isolated for 5, 6, 7 days and they miss that transfer period, are they missing out on all the stateroom tips that they've been servicing? Because that's like saying all of a sudden, hey, we're going to lose half your pay this week. And I know that can hurt, right? So I was trying to figure out how I would get her tip. And that was actually, honestly, the first thing that came to my mind is how am I going to do that? So I was very happy that she's back and I don't have to worry about that. But I was talking to, this stateroom has a butler. So far I've asked him one thing, make sure I have Diet Coke in the fridge. That's all I've done. I really don't get a whole lot of use out of a butler myself. But I just liked the extra space. And like I said, this is a pretty big cruise for my friend. We only get to go every once in a while. And so we may not be able to go too often again in the future. We'll see. So I wanted to make sure that this one was a really fun cruise for her. And she's having the best time, by the way. Alicia's having the best time. So there we go. Yeah, I thought my stateroom attendant had COVID, but she's fine, and I'm fine, and everyone's having a good time. And my biggest concern was, how am I going to give somebody their tip?